What is going on, ladies and gentlemen? Today we have the iconic, the infamous H&K USP. I'm gonna call it a USC. I keep on slipping, so forgive me if I do. Now, this pistol is not a new pistol. It's been out since the early 90s. And when I say infamous and iconic, I truly mean it. This pistol deserves those tags. It's available in a full size, a compact, and a tactical model. It's also available in 940, 45. Used to be available in 57 SIG. I've seen long slide versions of this. It has like 10 different options as far as your trigger and your safety / decocker mechanism. So some of the things I'm going to say in the video may not apply to your USP just because there's so many different ones over the years, and they make some of them, they don't make some of the other ones, so it does get a little confusing. Now, in the beginning, I said this is an infamous and an iconic gun, and I have a question for you related to that. I mean it. I don't take that lightly. This thing has been in dozens of video games, dozens of movies, dozens of TV shows, and that's my question for you. How many of those TV shows, movies, and video games can you name without cheating? Whoever leaves more of them in the comment section down below, I'll give you guys about a week. I will go through there. Whoever has the most, I'll get you guys a nice little swag pack of all the swag that I have. Just a random collection of stuff, and I'll send it out to you. I'll make sure I make it worth your while, but no cheating. As far as my disclosure, yes, I do work in the firearms industry. I do not have a connection to H&K really in any way, shape, or form. I have met the VP of sales there a few times at trade shows, but nothing more than, hey, how you doing? Good to see ya. I love HK. Goodbye. I am an HK fanboy, just so you know. This pistol came from my neighbor. My neighbor was nice enough to loan it to me for the review, and I'll give it back to him when I am done with the review. Last but not least, the sponsor of today's video is Shall Not Comply. Shall Not Comply makes some of the nicest, softest pro gun shirts. They also make clothing, hats, patches, shirts for some of your favorite gun tubers like Guns and Gadgets, Tactical Considerations, Reno May, the Gun Collective, and a few more. There will be affiliate links down in the video description for Shall Not Comply and also for this H&K USP. If you're interested in picking either one of those up, hook me up. Use those affiliate links. Two quick things about this gun before I get into it. Because it's been out so long and it has been so popular for so long, there's a ton of aftermarket support. So if there's something you don't like on here, whether it be the trigger, the sights, whatever, there's a million different ways of changing, upgrading, doing different things to this gun because it's been out for so long and it's so popular. But because it's been out so long, a lot of the things we want now in pistols weren't around or weren't popular almost 30 years ago when this pistol came out, like an optics cut, for example. So even though this is a very good gun, super reliable, super proven, I would love to see H&K come out with a limited run of an updated version of the USP with better trigger, optics cut, and all the other modern things we want in pistols. I think that would be so cool, and I think they would sell a ton of them. I don't know if you true HK fanboys would lose their mind because this is such a classic gun, but I would love to see something like that. Anyway, magazines, throwing them around. These are actually polymer magazines. A lot of H&Ks come with metal magazines, but these are polymer. They are made in Germany. I've never heard of any problems, significant problems with the USP. I almost said the USC. The 40 Smith & Wesson, which this gun is, holds 13 rounds. The 9mm holds 15. The 45 holds 12 rounds. There's magazines, extensions, and a bunch of different things you can get from them, but these are the magazines that come with it. No real magwell on the gun, but it does have two cutouts right here if you need to rip a magazine, kind of like the Gen 5 Glocks. It does have that cutout there. As far as the grip, I really love the grip. I wouldn't change anything about it. Maybe I'd put a set of Talon grips on it, but I don't think I would. I am a big fan of the grip. Both sides have like this sandpaper type texture, but it's not too rough, so it shouldn't tear up your skin too bad. And then both the front and the rear back straps have like pyramids or triangles, and they feel really good. And even with that, you know, the 40 Smith & Wesson's a little snappier than the 9 that I normally shoot. It was absolutely fine. The gun did not jump or move around at all when I was shooting it. Like a lot of H&K pistols, the magazine release is right here on the trigger guard, and I have grown to really love that style magazine release. I shoot and carry the VP9 quite often. This one here is a little bit smaller. I'm sure they make oversized aftermarket supports for them, but the one that comes on it is a little on the small side. But drops the magazines freely, as you can see, and I actually use my trigger finger to release those magazines. Other people use their thumb. Whatever works for you. So the mag release is fine. However, the trigger is rough. I don't shoot a ton of double action, single action guns. I'll be the first one to admit it. I carry and shoot mostly striker fired guns. With that said, this double action trigger is long and heavy, and it stacks and stacks and stacks. We were making jokes about it at the range. If you want to be accurate with this double action trigger, you have to practice a lot if you want to be accurate, because that is a long trigger. Other versions of this gun don't have as long and heavy as a trigger. That's just this particular one. The single action is much better. The pull weight is about half as much. There's a little bit of take up. You come to a decent wall. Okay, decent break, and then your reset isn't great. Your reset's pretty long. It is tactile, so you can hear it. Overall, the trigger is not great. Again, that's one of those things I would love to see H&K come out with a newer, updated, even if it was a limited version of the USP with a significantly nicer trigger. Now, I do believe the USP was one of the first pistols to have an accessory rail. There was no 1913 accessory rail back in the early 90s, so it is a proprietary rail. There's a few lights out there that will mount directly to it, but I think most of those lights are older, and I don't think they don't have the best lumen and candela rating. What I told my neighbor to do, and what I recommend to most people who have USPs, is there's several different adapters you can get. This particular one is from GG&G. ggng.com, I believe, is their website, and all it does is convert the proprietary rail into a standard 1913 rail, so you can add whatever light, laser, or doohickey on your pistol you want. Just keep in mind two things. One, that adapter does lower the light a little bit, so it doesn't quite sit in that perfect spot, just a little tiny bit lower. Not bad, just a little bit. The bigger issue or challenge with this gun is the trigger guard. I think it has the biggest trigger guard in the history of trigger guards. So if you choose to activate the light with your trigger finger, I don't, but let me show you, I am not even close to that light. And then on this side, this would be my normal grip, and I would have to break my grip forward and down so I could reach that light. So that's what my grip would look like. Not the end of the world, but if this is going to be a defensive weapon, I recommend you have a light on any defensive weapon, because you probably shouldn't shoot what you can't see. I don't know, just my opinion. All right, the safety / decocker. This one here, like I said, it does have a safety. So in the up position, it's on safe. Down position, it is on fire. You push it further, and it decocks that hammer. So you can either carry the hammer cocked and on safe, or you can carry it decocked with the safety off, or decocked with the safety on. However you get down is totally up to you. I don't judge those who carry cocked and locked or anything else. Again, there's like 10 different setups for your safety and trigger. That's just this particular one. Now, the slide release on the gun is one of the things I absolutely love. It is extended, it is large, and it is very, very easy to reach. Now, it's only on the left side of your guns, on the left side of the gun, so you lefties are not going to be, it'd be a little more challenging to use it as a slide release. That's one thing about the safety and the decocker I forgot to mention. You can reverse it on the other side if you need to, if you are left-handed. But the slide release is in a great spot, great location. If you, like me, and you choose to use that as a slide release, it is a fantastic slide release. Now, the slide itself, good and bad here. The material it's made out of is fantastic. It has a hostile environment finish, is what H&K always calls it, and it's made from, I always mess this up, so I'm going to read it, nitro-carburized steel. So the finish on here is great. Even if the blued finish on here wears, whatever the treatment they do to the metal is still not going to rust, because it's a treatment, it's inside the metal. And the stories behind these pistols, between people putting like 30,000-40,000 rounds in this special forces and this department and this group and this all over the world of these guns being super reliable and just taking absolute abuse and still firing. Like one of the stories, I apologize, I forgot who it was. I should have looked this up before the video. Someone shot like 30,000 rounds through it, then like 6,000 rounds of like plus P plus ammo, and they had a squib load in there. They knocked the squib load out, and they continue firing and getting good accuracy, even though the barrel was messed up. I mean, these things will take a licking and keep on ticking. No front serrations. That's the drawback to them. Again, in the 90s, I don't think front serrations was a big thing. I can't think of any pistols with front serrations from the 90s. It's still very easy to rack the slide. It's a very easy slide to rack. There's just no front serrations. The sights. The sights, again, available on a bunch of different types of sights you can get. They're both dovetailed, so you can easily change them out, and there's a ton of aftermarket support as well. These particular one are three dot white sights. They're fine. There's nothing wrong with them. They're metal. They have a ledge for one-handed manipulation, so the sights are fine. I am going to field strip this pistol because there's something cool I want to show you with the recoil spring. As I do that, you can go ahead and take a look at the dimensions of the pistol and the MSRP. And I'm also going to put up here the dimensions of a Glock 17. Not to compare it to a Glock 17. I know they're very, very different guns. Just purely for dimensions. I would assume more people would know the size of a Glock 17 over a USP probably. So I wanted to put that up there. All of the parts inside are treated anti-corrosion treatment they get. So this is truly, again, I know I've said it, super durable, all-weather type gun. The recoil spring is also a recoil reduction system, and it's kind of cool. There's a recoil spring on the outside, another smaller recoil spring on the inside, and it's a steel recoil spring. And we do shoot a lot of 40 Smith & Wesson at work, unfortunately. We have a couple Glocks, a couple Smiths, and an FN, and this definitely was a very pleasant shooting gun, minus the trigger. The trigger made it hard, but the felt recoil was not bad at all. As far as your barrel, HK barrels, again, super high quality, last you forever, cannon grade steel. Their barrels are excellent. And the one thing I want to stress about this gun was not built a 9mm and then converted to 40 like some of the other guns. And though a lot of those guns had problems, this was built as a 40 Smith & Wesson and then converted to a 9 and a 45, which is good because the 40 definitely has more energy. And a while ago, especially in the 90s, a lot of the frames were cracking from the 40 Smith & Wesson. I don't know what it is, but this feels like one of the worst reviews I have ever done. I'm not feeling the vibe. Maybe you guys will never see this and I'll just delete it. All right, let's talk about the testing, the pros, and the cons real quick. So thanks to the Elite Indoor Gun Range, they sponsored the ammo for this video. I was able to put a few hundred rounds through this pistol. And I was pretty familiar with the USP already. I've shot a bunch of different ones, the full size, the compact. I don't think I've ever shot a tactical model. I've shot them at 9 and 40, never shot the 45. And again, they've been around so long, I had a pretty good understanding what they were all about. But I put a few hundred rounds through it. I was at the range with one of my buddies and we ran several different drills. There was a T-Rex arms drill. There was a 10-10-10 shooting drill. I did a bunch of transitions. We had a bunch of different targets and I was doing transitions from targets to target. Shot some steel with it. I really struggled with the double action trigger. Again, I don't shoot a lot of double action guns. That trigger is really long. So I spent a whole magazine of just double action decock, double action decock, double action decock. And I got better by the end of the magazine, but it's a long trigger pull. So if you are going to get any double action, single action gun, make sure you practice with that double action, single action decock, double action, single action decock. Make sure you practice so your first shot doesn't go low, your second shot doesn't go high and miss the target. That wouldn't be good. So you get the point. We did a bunch of different drills, and through all of that shooting, my biggest pro is going to be the reliability and the durability of these guns. Again, they've been out forever. They've been tested by so many different departments and special forces and all these operators overseas and so many different rounds and crazy tests, and they have proven themselves. This has earned the durable and reliable reputation that it has. It's a very iconic pistol. It's very infamous. Again, all the movies and TV shows and videos and all that good stuff. And it shoots really nice. I'm not a huge fan of 40 Smith & Wesson, but we do shoot a lot of 40 Smith & Wesson at work, unfortunately. And I definitely say that recoil reduction system, there's something to it, and it shoots a lot nicer than other 40s. Even though that double action trigger is rough, the felt recoil isn't too bad. As far as cons, I'd love to see H&K just kind of modernize this weapon, and I know they have the HK 45 and they have the P30, which are kind of similar to this with modern features, but I would love to see them come out with maybe a new version and keep the classic USP as well. Don't ruin the classic. Maybe come out with a limited run of an updated version. You know, get some front serrations, get a better trigger, a 1913 rail, an optics cut. Yes, yes, yes. Every gun that's not budget friendly should have an optics cut. My opinion, deal with it. So I think that'd be really cool if they came out with a limited run or they came out with a new version and kept the classics. I don't want them ruining this classic, but I would love to see a modernized version of this pistol. That's my opinion. You let me know what you think down in the video comments. Before you guys go, let me quickly thank my neighbor for letting me borrow this pistol. He is a good dude. It was very, very nice of him. I also want to thank, who do I need to thank? The sponsor of today's video, Shall Not Comply. Links down in the video description. These are the other companies who support me with affiliate links and discount codes down in the video description. My Patreon supporters are sensational. They help me in so many ways. Link down in the video description. I'm on Instagram, Facebook, Parler, TikTok, a bunch of different social media channels. If you want to know what I'm reviewing in real time before the review comes out, those links are down in the video description. Last but not least, if you think I deserve it, please consider liking this video, dropping a comment, and subscribing to the channel. I will see you guys next time. Hopefully this video wasn't as bad as it feels, and I love you. Goodbye.